is basically the Earth's surface and interior of Earth. So as of now, let me recap. As of now, we discussed about the origin of our solar system, of our universe. So when we talk about the Earth, I told you how it would have been formed based on the various theories we have discussed. Now let's specifically talk about the Earth. And when we are talking about the Earth specifically, so first we're going to discuss about the Earth's surface and how the surface look like. Then we're going to see that how surface is having a some sort of differentiations. Somewhere surface is, I mean the Earth's surface is having a steeper slope, somewhere it is having plain areas, somewhere it is having a depressions. So why is that so? What are the reasons behind this? What are the nature of interior of our Earth? We're going to explore all of these dimensions in this particular. So begin. If we talk about the surface, you have seen the surface of our Earth and you have observed that there are somewhere there are mountains, somewhere there are steeper slopes, somewhere there is gentle slope, somewhere you will see that we have a plain area, somewhere you will see that we have a V-shaped valleys, somewhere you will see that we have some sort of vegetation, somewhere that we have rivers, vegetations, gradual declining slope. So this surface is highly uneven. The surface is not uniform. Our Earth's surface is uneven. Our Earth's surface is highly uneven. Somewhere you will see that we have a mountains. Somewhere you will see that we have some sort of steeper areas, plain areas. Somewhere you will see that we have a declining areas. I mean, in terms of their slope, in terms of their, you will see slope like this. What a kind of mountain? What a kind of plateau? Plateau is a rocky surface. Okay, rocky surface, isolated from the nearby areas. Let's say here we have a water as well, so this could be a river, for example. So all I want to say here is that this Earth crust is very dynamic. Earth crust is very dynamic, and this surface of Earth is very dynamic, really uneven. It is not uniformly distributed. And Earth's surface, as you know, it is comprised of what? There are different types of rocks, and our surface is what? Rocky. Now you will say, I have seen a surface where I have seen loose particles. I have seen soil as well. So soil, if it is there, so soil is also the aggregate of rock. Okay. When the rock is there and if his rock is eroded, that will ultimately transform in terms of soil. One more thing is there, that though the soil is there, beneath the soil we also have a rock. Okay, so ultimately what we can say, that our Earth's surface is actually comprised of what? Rock. Our Earth's surface is highly what? Uneven. Somewhere you will see steeper mountains, as I told you, somewhere you will see plain areas, somewhere you will see rolling plains like this, somewhere you will see V-shaped valleys like this. Okay, somewhere you will see lofty mountain peaks. What we can say, highly uneven surfaces. What are the reasons why this uneven? Or whether the surface which is uneven, it will remain still, or whether it is subjected to deformation, subjected to creation, subjected to dynamism, whether the state of mountain will change or not, whether the state of the plain areas will going to change or not. So we're going to see all these dimensions in this particular topic. So whatever surface you see, surface whatsoever the surface you see, for example in India, throughout the India you will see we have a variety of surface. If you are in Himalaya, you will see we have a mountain. If you are in Uttar Pradesh or Bihar, you will see we have a plain area. If you are in the Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, you will see we have what? Mountains. Though mountains will have a less height than the Himalayas. Then if you are in the South India, you will see Western Ghat and Eastern Ghats. You will see that there are some stretches where you will see the agricultural areas are there. especially the Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri basin. So the topography or the surface, the purpose of geography is to understand the topography, to see the processes because of which the topography is existing, and ultimately how that topography is affecting the life of people. Suppose there is a mountain, so the way of life will be different. Suppose there is a plain area, the way of life will be different. So geography is not only all about the mountains and plateaus or desert or vegetation. Geography is also about the behavior of human as well. So when you are dealing with this kind of aspect, that how you can apply the geography to the society, then you have to prepare, you have to make policy decisions. That's why you are reading geography, especially in your UPSC preparation. Let me give you one more example. Geography is also being taught in universities, college, masters, PhD and so on. And geography is also being taught in UPSC or civil services preparation as well. So what is the difference in between these? The person who is scholar, who is actually developing expertise in academic domain, he might be good in academics, he may have a deeper and deeper knowledge of geography, but you, when you are preparing for UPSC, you have to make a difference. In what way? That you have to apply the concept of geography on human, that how geography will going to affect the life of people, how geography will going to affect the socio-economic behavior of people. You have to work on this particular. So in geography, we actually focusing on the unevenness of the surface, that why the crust is uneven, why somewhere we have a mountain, why somewhere we have a plain, why somewhere we have a, let's say, V-shaped valleys. What are the reason behind this? And after the processes, after the result, you have to link it with the life of people. That would be the complete preparation of geography, and we will go in that way only. Okay, cultures are actually being driven by geography, behavior is being driven by geography, your way of life, your traditions, your festivals, your way of marriage, your way of living, your way of eating will be defined by the geography. Destiny of countries will be defined by geography. To give you one more example, if you see the Middle East region, so this Middle East region is historically unstable, in terms of political aspect. Okay, we have seen invasion in India. In history, you will see about this, and even nowadays there is an instability. It is not because of the people; it is because of the geography. It is because of the geography who is determining the behavior of people, and then it is because of the combined effect of geography and people. That reason is unstable. Afghanistan is known as the global graveyard of empires because of the geography. Because of the geography, one particular region will be deprived to being a prospect. All right. So all of these things are actually being governed by. So when it comes to the particular part of our surface, so why there is an unevenness in the surface? When we cover or when we discuss about the nature of this topography. So in geography, we used to study about the topography. In geography, we used to study about the nature of slope, I would say. All right. So the surface which we used to see, wherever you are living on mountain, plateau, whatsoever is the surface, whatsoever is the nature of landform. So surface is actually the result of balance between two set of, we have a two set of forces. Those forces are interacting with the earth, and whatever result we see in terms of our earth surface, That result is because of the interplay between these two set of forces. So we have these two set of forces in terms of endogenetic forces and exogenic, or endogenic forces or exogenic force. So these two set of forces are applying, and when these two set of forces are applying, based on their intensity, the surface will be uneven. Surface will be having some sort of steeper slope. Surface could be having some sort of plain area. So let's discuss about these two set of forces, endogenic and exogenic. Endogenetic and exogenetic, it's the same thing. So when we are talking about endo means inside. Endo means what? Inside. And exo means what? Exo means outside. Exo means outside. There are some forces, and these forces are working beneath the surface, and there are some forces that are working on the surface, above the surface. So yes, what we can say that here we have some sort of surface, here we have some sort of forces which are interacting with this surface, and these forces are applying inside the earth. Means these are what? Endogenetic forces. Endogenetic. These forces are applying from the interior of our earth. Then we have one more set of forces which we are calling as exo, from outside, exogenetic force. These forces are actually responsible for working on Earth's surface from the outside, or let's say by the means of atmospheric action. When we are talking about endogenetic forces, so these are the forces which are actually being applied from the interior towards the surface. There are certain agents of this we're going to discuss, and these endogenetic forces are responsible for the creation of crust, or let's say creation of surface. These forces used to create, these forces used to create the surface. Whereas if you see the exogenetic forces, these forces are responsible for wear down the crust. These forces are responsible for eroding the earth's surface and modify the topography, modify the slope. Let me give you one example. Suppose we have a mountain here. So mountain, how mountain would going to develop? Mountain would going to develop this way. Mountain would going to develop in this, that suppose we have a surface in this way, and because of the endogenetic forces, we may have a modification in surface like this. So what we can say that here the endogenetic forces are more intense as compared to the exogenetic forces. Now at the same time, exogenetic forces are also working from the outside of Earth. Okay, they are also working from the outside of Earth, and they're going to wear down. So when this mountain will going to wear down, what we can say that its topography is like this. So this is what the change in terms of slope. Here in this first condition, if you see the slope, so it is like plane. Here in the second condition, if you see the slope, it is what somewhat steeper because of the intense endogenetic forces. Here if you see in this third condition, so because of the more exogenic forces, what is happening? Because of the more exogenic forces, what is happening? There is a erosion, there is a removal, there is a wearing down of crust which has been made by endogenetic forces. So endogenetic forces are responsible for creation of crust, modifying the surface topography, modifying the slope, whereas the exogenetic forces are responsible for eroding the slope, removal of slope, or destruction of. Let me give you one more example. Himalaya, if you see in India, on the northern parts of India, we have Himalaya. So Himalaya, the creation of Himalaya is an example of endogenetic force. It is in this way. We'll have a more deep dive on this particular aspect, but just try to understand that there was a one Indian plate and there was a one Eurasian plate. When these two plates collide, so these plates were actually colliding because of the intense endogenetic force. We'll have a better or deep dive on this particular aspect. We'll see in a much detailed manner, but here I just want to give you an example so that you can understand this scenario in a more better way. So when the two plates were moving, there was what, a collision, and as a result of collision there was a creation of Himalaya like this. So how Himalaya would have been formed. Then same time we also have a exogenetic forces which are working here, and that's how there is a erosion, there is a removal, there is a wearing down of Himalaya, and with the gradually with the time period the slope or the orientation of Himalaya is getting changed. Okay, suppose there is a steeper slopes, so they will become gradual. So when we have this kind of interaction of these two set of forces on the topmost surface of Earth, because of this we have what, unevenness. So whatever surface you will see, any surface is the result of interplay between these two set of forces. So endogenetic forces here, if you see, they are the internal forces, or they are processes which are originating within the earth, inside, and shape the surface. They are the creative forces. They are responsible for creation of the crust. Then exogenetic forces, they are the external forces on the earth surface. They lead to what? Breakdown. They lead to what? Removal of crust which has been formed by endogenetic. So suppose we have a endogenetic force which is more intense, that will lead to the mountain building. Suppose we have a more part of exogenetic forces, we would have what? Wearing down of slope. Okay, so the surface is actually uneven because of the interplay between these two sectors, between the endogenetic forces and exogenetic. Moving ahead,